All right, let's talk about estimating decimal products and quotients. If we're estimating products, well, product means multiply, then we want to round the decimals to the nearest whole number and then multiply. So let's say, for example, we had 18.43 times 3.92. Well, I'm going to round them first. So that 4 keeps the 8 the same, so it's going to stay an 18. That 9 rounds the 3 up to a 4, so it's 18 times 4. And to do that mentally, I'm going to think 4 times 10 and 4 times 8. 4 times 10 is 40. 4 times 8 is 32. I'm just going to add those together and get 72. So that's how you estimate products. Just round the decimals, nearest whole number, and then multiply. Not too shabby, right? Not too hard. Now let's apply that to a real situation. Like let's say you're at the store and you're going to get Gatorades. All right, so let's say Michelle purchased 6 Gatorades for $1.89 each. Michelle was charged $13.23 before tax. Was this reasonable? Explain. Well, this is our application. And this happens a lot, actually. So we want to make sure that's a reasonable cost whenever we look at our receipt to make sure that the store didn't overcharge us. And oftentimes, if the store undercharges you, and if you bring it up, normally they'll say, "Oh, thank you, but you can keep the difference." All right, so let's see if there was a mistake. So let's round. It's really 6 groups of $1.89. So it's 6 times 1.89, and we're going to round. We're going to keep the 6 the same and round the 1.89 to the nearest whole number, which would be 2. And 6 times 2 is $12. Now keep in mind, what did we do with that $1.89? We rounded it up. So I'm going to make a note that this was rounded up. That means that this number is also rounded up. So really, what should the actual cost be? More than 12 or less than 12? Should be less than 12 because that answer is higher, is what we're saying, than what it should be. So the answer to this is no, this is not reasonable. And we would say the actual should be less than 12 because we rounded up. Actual cost is less than 12. And the reason is since the $1.89 was rounded up. And really what happened in this case, you might have guessed, there was an extra Gatorade that was charged. Sometimes this happens as you're going through and they're scanning. They may scan an extra one or think it's scanned and it scans twice. So an extra Gatorade was charged. That's why it came out to be $13.23. All right. Hi, my name is 55.21. Hi, I'm 6.8. Hey, would you like to go out? Oh, you're just not my type. These numbers are not compatible, 55.21 and 6.8. However, let's reenact this a little bit to make them compatible. Hi, my name's 55.21, but my friends call me 56. Oh, my name is 6.8, and my friends call me 7. Would you like to go out sometime? Sure. These numbers are compatible. So what does compatible mean? It means that the numbers divide to give whole numbers. For instance, we can do 56 divided by 7 and get 8. But we can't do 55 divided by 7 to get a whole number. Those aren't compatible. So compatible numbers are numbers that divide to give whole numbers. So for instance, if we had, let's do an example here, 29.23 divided by 6.09. And I'm going to write down the steps that we do. Our first step is going to be to round the divisor. So the first thing we're going to do is round that divisor to a whole number. And our divisor is the 6.09. So that would be rounded to 6. All right, next up, we're going to, second step, find the closest multiple of the divisor. So in other words, 6 times what's going to be really close to 29? Well, I'm just thinking out loud. I'm thinking 6 times 4 is 24, but 6 times 5 is going to give me 30. So I would round the 29 to a 30 and think of it as 30 divided by 6, and now I'm actually going to divide for my third step and get 5. So that's how you think of compatible numbers. First we round the divisor, that means the second number there, to a whole number. Think of the multiples that are really close to that dividend, and 5 was our 6 times 5 is 30, so we had to round the 29 to a 30. And then we just divide them. All right, we'll try another example. 70.8. Yeah, that's a decimal, believe it or not. Divided by 8.73. All right, going through my steps, my divisor is 8.73. I need to round it to a whole number, so 9. And now I'm thinking, what are the multiples of 9 that are close to 70.8? Well, 9 times 7, whoops, that's only 63. 9 times 8, that's 72. Oh, that's really close to 70.8. So I'm going to round the 70.8 to my multiple of 72. And now I divide them, and I get 8. And one more note, we just talked about compatible numbers, but one more note about division. You want to say it forwards and write it backwards. So for example, if I had 88 divided by 11, and I wanted to write that out, I would say 88 divided by 11, and the answer, of course, is 8. And I'm going to label these now. The 11 is my divisor. The 88 is my dividend. It's on the end. I'm going to underline end to remind you. That's the number on the end. And then 8 is my answer to a division problem. What's that called? If you said quotient, you're right. Awesome. So we say it forwards, we write it backwards. So 88 divided by 11, the 88's written on the furthest on the right, and then we're writing it in reverse order. All right, that wraps up your notes. It's nice when you find numbers compatible.